Cosmic Professional Gladiator. Author. I Eat Tomatoes. Subscribe to the Moon Policy YouTube channel. Translator. Moon Policy Editor. Moon Policy. Chapter 9. Global Live Broadcast. A few days after his return to Mingyu City, Li Miaomiao also returned from Binhai City. All her daily necessities had been moved to their new place. It was a detached villa in the suburbs of Mingyu City. Although the location couldn't compare to his parents' old house, it was much larger. The basement of the villa was 200 square meters, and Xu Jingming converted it into a professional training room. The villa yard was 800 square meters, and some of the areas were made into an open-air martial arts arena. For example, a huge, 40-centimeter thick, 3-meter-long wooden stake was erected in the yard, a meter underground and 2 meters above ground. Xu Jingming wore a singlet and a pair of berms, and his feet were bare. He took a step forward and slapped his palms on the large wooden stake. When he stepped forward, his speed increased sharply, raising his entire body's speed immediately. He was like a tiger that had suddenly flared up, and his palms slammed into the large wooden log. Bang! The 40-centimeter thick wooden stake trembled violently from the impact. After taking a step back, Xu Jingming took another step forward. With one step, he unleashed his strength and struck the wooden log with both palms again. After 10 strikes, he switched moves, slamming it with his shoulder, back, elbow, etc. Every collision caused the wooden stake to tremble violently. Jingming, let's have dinner at my parents' tonight. Li Miaomiao wore a pair of virtual glasses and walked to the living room door. She leaned against the door and looked at Xu Jingming, who was training in the yard. Sure, Xu Jingming replied. But when do you plan on moving over? Why, can't stand being alone at night. Li Miaomiao glanced at Xu Jingming with a faint smile and teased. It's quite lonely with just me here. Xu Jingming stopped practicing and looked at Li Miaomiao. Ah, look at how pitiful you are. Li Miaomiao smiled and said, it's only been a few days since I returned to Mingyu City. I want to spend more time with my parents, Li Miaomiao said. She couldn't stay by her parents' side 24 hours a day either, it would be excruciating. Young people also needed personal space. She spent the day at their new house and slept at her parents' place overnight to chat with her mother. My parents will be sick of me in a few days, Li Miaomiao said. I'll move here when that happens. Okay, Xu Jingming nodded. Oh right, I'm accompanying Grandpa to the hospital tomorrow. I probably won't be here during the day. Then, I won't be coming over tomorrow. Li Miaomiao walked back to the living room and immersed herself in the metaverse. Xu Jingming also continued his practice. Suddenly, Li Miaomiao, who was sitting on the sofa in the living room, revealed a look of surprise. She carefully read the news posted in the metaverse. Jingming, something big has happened. Li Miaomiao exclaimed in the living room. Bang! Xu Jingming, who had smashed the wooden stake with both fists, was shocked by his girlfriend's scream. He stopped and asked, what's wrong? Then, he walked into the living room. Look, Li Miaomiao stood in the living room and waved her hand. In the living room, a projection appeared in midair with a playing video. All 195 countries of the world will be simultaneously making an announcement at a press conference that will be held 3 days later, July 21st, 9 p.m. Beijing time. All 195 countries around the world will broadcast the press conference simultaneously. 9 p.m. Beijing time, 8 a.m. New York time, 1 p.m. London time, 10 p.m. Japan time. The entire world isn't in the same time zone, but everyone is simultaneously holding a press conference. It has to be a big deal, a very big deal. The last time something this big happened was when the 195 countries in the world formed the Earth Alliance. No information has been leaked about this press conference. The more confidential it is, the more important it is. Short video clips slid across the screen one after another. The entire internet was in a frenzy because of this sudden piece of news. Countless netizens shared their views. It's definitely something major, Xu Jingming said seriously. It's very likely to be a major event that will affect the fate of all humans in the world. There are so many countries worldwide. Li Miaomiao nodded as well. To have all 195 countries make the announcement simultaneously is to show how important this is. The last time something this serious happened was the establishment of the Earth Alliance and the Mars Project. When humans first landed on Mars, countries frantically developed all kinds of space technology and rushed to establish a base on Mars. In the end, all 195 countries established the Earth Alliance and jointly developed Mars. Xu Jingming nodded. Establishing the Earth Alliance to develop Mars was the biggest thing in the past few decades. I wonder what it will be this time. There are many discussions on the internet, but no information has been leaked. It's in a state of complete secrecy. Li Miao Miao also paid attention to the news. The level of confidentiality is very high. Xu Jingming looked forward to it. Let's watch the live broadcast in 3 days. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The entire world was stirred by this press conference. Most of the talk on the internet was about the upcoming press conference, since such a major development only happened once in the past century, the establishment of the Earth Alliance. What would it be this time? Time passed day by day until it was July 21st. At 8:55 p.m., Beijing, China. The live broadcast is going to begin soon. I wonder what's so important. In Xu Jingming's new house, Grandpa Xu Jingming's parents, Li Miao Miao's parents, Xu Jingming, and Li Miao Miao were gathered in the living room. The projection was already on the global live stream page. Beijing, at Lu Hai's residence. Dad, do you know what this global live broadcast is about? A large number of family members had gathered at Lu Hai's residence. They were also waiting for the global live broadcast to air. I'm not sure either. The level of confidentiality is very high. Lu Hai sat there and said, "Don't worry. It will be officially announced in a few minutes. We'll know once it's announced." Although Lu Hai didn't know, he had heard it from the top. The national patronage list is related to the global live stream conference on July 21st. What's going on with the global live broadcast? The Cheng family was also gathered. They consisted of the family head, Cheng Liwei, his wife, the family of Cheng Zitao, their eldest son, and their second son, Cheng Zihao. Dad, you don't know what this press conference is about even with your network. Cheng Zihao ate a banana on the sofa with his legs crossed. His father, Cheng Liwei, helmed the Tiger Shark Group, a megacorporation with a market capitalization of 5 trillion yuan. His influence could very well be greater than the heads of some small countries. It was obvious that a secret that even he didn't know had extremely high confidentiality. I don't know, Cheng Liwei said seriously. I've asked around. It's said that all 195 countries will do a joint release, but in fact, most heads of state don't know what it is about. Only the 32 members of the alliance know the secret. The Earth Alliance's 5 council members decided on most matters. Even if it was a major matter that decided the fate of the world, just 32 member countries could make the decision. As for the smaller countries, they only had representation in the alliance with no say in any matters. They only had the right to follow the alliance's decisions. If it affects the fate of humans worldwide, it will also affect the fate of our Tiger Shark Group, Cheng Liwei said. Pay attention to the press conference. Cheng Zidong and Cheng Zihao also watched attentively. The Tiger Shark Group benefited from the increased exchanges between countries back when the Earth Alliance was established. It allowed them to establish branch offices all across the globe. A powerful corporation needed to keep its finger on the pulse of the world and follow it. At this moment, in China, EU, the United States of America, India, Japan, and many other countries around the world, be it day or night, wealthy or poor, more than half the world's population was tuned into this live broadcast. All entertainment on the internet had been halted. All the live streaming platforms, video platforms, and all the official media outlets only had one program no matter how one switched channels: this global live-streamed press conference. Even the big screens and billboards on the streets were broadcasting this press conference. It was very difficult for people living on this planet not to know about this live broadcast. It's about to begin. Xu Jingming, Li Miao Miao, and the rest of the family sat in the living room and watched the live stream. The live broadcast showed all 195 national representatives seated. Sitting at the head of the table was Angus, the current Secretary General of the Earth Alliance. I'm very honored today to be able to host this press conference because it will be one that will enter the annals of human history, Secretary General Angus said with a smile. He spoke in English, but every media in China broadcasted in Mandarin. For Japan, it was Japanese. Every country heard their lingua franca. Chapter 10. Living in a Good Era. More than 40 years ago, which was the year 2036, humans first landed on Mars, Angus said. Moreover, they made astonishing discoveries on Mars. These were all kept secret previously, and I'm pleased to disclose some of these findings to the global public today. Secretary General Angus stood up. The giant projection behind him displayed a scene on Mars, a huge, dilapidated iron city. This is the ruins of an underground city on Mars. We estimate it to be 36 kilometers long and 25 kilometers wide based on the remnants. You can think of it as a giant underground fortress, Secretary General Angus said. He then waved his hand, and the scene changed to a human sculpture. This sculpture was created 30 million years ago, and it resembles us humans, Secretary General Angus said. It was also discovered on Mars. Secretary General Angus didn't explain much at all. With another wave of his hand, an even more shocking scene appeared, a huge, brand new spaceship deep in a canyon that had been split in half. This spaceship is 5.8 kilometers long. It probably crashed a million years ago, Secretary General Angus said. When we discovered it, this damaged spaceship was buried in the canyon. After it was excavated from the ruins, we did some simple repairs, only to find that this spaceship remained brand new with no signs of decay. The technology contained in this spaceship is unimaginable. Secretary General Angus temporarily paused after saying that, but the entire world was boiling over at this moment. What is this? Such a huge city of steel. Is that a spaceship? It's 5.8 kilometers long. The materials remain new after a million years. What kind of technology is this? What kind of technology is inside this spaceship? That sculpture is from 30 million years ago, but it still maintains its overall appearance. That must be some impressive material. Furthermore, it's in the likeness of humans. Humans existed on Mars in the past. Everyone around the world was in shock as they discussed. Secretary General Angus fell silent for a moment, and he flipped through the manuscript in his hand. Then, he looked up and said, Mars is the collective wealth of our entire human race. Therefore, in 2056, we established the Earth Alliance and jointly developed Mars. Humans landed on Mars in 2036. In 2056, the Global Earth Alliance was established. The entire world worked together to develop Mars, and the technology obtained from Mars will also benefit the entire human race. Angus smiled. For example, the virtual glasses technology originated from the VR headsets on Mars. Angus produced a silver-gray helmet from a nearby chest. The virtualization of virtual glasses technology is only at 30%, but the VR headsets technology, Angus said, after paying an extremely high price, we have finally made a breakthrough. By donning the virtual headset, one's cerebral nerves will be connected to the VR headset. The cerebral consciousness will enter a virtual world, Angus said. First, the virtualization is nearly 100%. You can even simulate touch and smell. A person's body can be 100% virtualized. Everyone who was watching the live broadcast was stunned. Nearly 100% virtualization. Second, because our bodies are completely in a state of rest after entering the virtual world, our brains feel like they are in a dream. Therefore, people can use their sleeping time to enter the virtual world. This allows us to boost the amount of usable time in a day. Other than studying and working during the day, we can also study, do scientific research, and be entertained in the virtual world at night. Secretary General Angus smiled. Technology will change humanity. We can also make use of our sleep time in the future. This is what it means for technology to change humanity. We can enter the virtual world during bedtime. Xu Jingming, Li Miao, and the others were all shocked. When I was young, it was still the era of mobile gaming. It's only been 60 to 70 years, and the virtual world is now reality. I managed to see this day happen at the age of 88. Grandpa Xu was dumbfounded. The VR headset is not the biggest harvest from our development of Mars, Angus said. At today's press conference, the VR headsets are only ranked second. Ranked first is Human evolution. Evolution. Everyone around the world listened attentively. The VR headset is only ranked second. Human evolution is ranked first. We've unearthed some ancient technology from Mars, one of which is genetic evolution, Angus said. After years of experimentation, people around the world need to express our gratitude to volunteers who gave their lives for the experiments. They are the heroes of the entire human race. Images of men and women appeared on the screen behind him. Everyone around the world fell silent. Did many volunteers die for the experiments? After years of experimentation, we have figured out a method for genetic evolution with a 100% rate of success, Angus said. It's suitable for all humans on Earth. Genetic evolution. It sounds incredible, but the theory is simple. Take a boxer for instance. His fists and bones will far exceed those of ordinary people after prolonged training. His child will also have stronger fists and bones, a virtue of his genetic heritage. This is a tiny step in the evolution of genes. People have long discovered that exercise strengthens one's body. Exercise reduces many illnesses and allows one to live longer, but those are simple training methods that we summarize from our daily habits. Secretary General Angus said, if science and technology can develop to the point where we can monitor the genes of humans, we can summarize the changes in the genes as a result of human training. We can monitor the changes in the genes of millions of humans or even hundreds of millions of humans. The final production of a training method will be incredible. This is a gene evolution method found on Mars. After our experiments, we determined 10 evolution methods that are suitable for humans on Earth. 10 books appeared on the screen behind him, each with alien text. I'd like you to turn your attention to the batch of volunteers we invited 6 months ago. Secretary General Angus pointed at the projection. Over 1,000 people appeared on the giant projection behind him. There were men and women. Some were young and old, some were disabled, some were sick, some were healthy, and some were so old that they were about to die. They were all wearing silver-gray helmets, and they were lying on beds. More than half of them have terminal illnesses, and 20% of them are disabled, Secretary General Angus said. Learning the evolutionary method isn't easy. It will tire the body out every time. If the movements are wrong, it will bring about even more harm. Therefore, these volunteers studied with the VR headsets. After they are certain that they have learned it completely in the virtual world, they will also find themselves having learned it in reality. In just 3 months, this batch of volunteers underwent a transformation, Secretary General Angus said excitedly. Disabled people appeared one after another. Some had missing legs, while others had missing arms. But in the video, their stumps gradually grew until they were fully grown. Many white-haired elderly had their hair turn black with time. Their wrinkles disappeared, and they became young. The terminally ill patients gradually became healthy and even had a rosy glow. Their genes have evolved, bringing them to brand new levels, Secretary General Angus said. This is a 100-meter sprint test. The 100-meter world record is 9.32 seconds. As for these 8 volunteers, Secretary General Angus looked at the screen. With a gunshot, the 8 volunteers flew out like cheetahs, their figures blurring as they quickly arrived at the finishing line. The fastest volunteer had a result of 5.13 seconds. The 8 of them studied the genetic evolutionary methods for 3 months and were already capable of running 100 meters in about 5 seconds, Secretary General Angus said. The screen next showed a young man grabbing a barbell. The barbell was thicker than Olympic barbells, but the heavy weights on both sides made the thick barbell bend. The young man easily lifted it above his head the moment he exerted his strength. He didn't go through any professional weightlifting training. An ordinary young man easily lifted a 1,000-kilogram barbell. On the screen, someone leapt over a horizontal pole placed up high. A single leap reaching 3.9 meters. Secretary General Angus said, they can jump higher, run faster, and lift heavier weights. Their bodies recover faster, and lost limbs can be regenerated. Terminal illnesses of the past will be nothing but a small cold to evolved humans. The body's immunity will naturally eliminate them. All known terminal illnesses can be eliminated after evolution. Most importantly, their lifespans have also changed. Through repeated confirmation, evolved humans will generally have a lifespan ranging between 160 and 200 years. Human life expectancy has doubled. The moment that was said, Many people around the world broke into a frenzy. All terminal illnesses can be cured. Limb regeneration. In the living room in Jinmen City, Yang Qingshuo dazedly watched all of this while hugging his son. Mom's illness can be treated. My hand can regrow, Yang Qingshuo murmured. Beep, beep, beep. A small screen appeared beside him. Shuo, Shuo, did you hear that? Limbs can be regrown. The video showed someone with both legs missing growing them back. It's only one hand for you, you can grow it back. Mrs. Yang was so excited that tears streamed down her face. She didn't mind dying to know that her son was no longer disabled. Mom, you can recover from your illness too. Yang Qingshuo also cried with joy. Yes, my illness can be cured. Mrs. Yang nodded immediately. Our family can be together again. We have to thank this era. What a wonderful era we live in. Yang Qingshuo looked down at his son, who had dozed off. He had already fallen asleep while waiting for the live broadcast. Yang Qingshuo kissed his son excitedly. His son opened his eyes and looked at his father with drowsy eyes. In a daze, he closed his eyes and fell asleep again. Has Dao Dao slept? Mrs. Yang asked. All entertainment was suspended, and there were no cartoons. Dao Dao got sleepy waiting, Yang Qingshuo said with a smile. Mrs. Yang nodded. Let him get some sleep. Things will turn for the better for our family moving forward. It's going to get better. Yang Qingshuo smiled. He felt that his future was filled with hope. Xu Jingming and his family were equally excited. All terminal illnesses can be cured. Lost limbs can be grown again. A life expectancy of 160 to 200 years. This news left the entire family dumbfounded. Xu Jingming looked at his aged parents. His father was already 60, his mother had some white hair, and his grandfather was 88. Were the most important relatives in his life now able to live beyond 160? Jingming, your leg will definitely recover. His mother hugged Xu Jingming excitedly. Their lost legs could grow back, so that injury of yours is nothing. Xu Jingming nodded. But the martial arts tournament in the future will definitely be different from the past. In the future, an ordinary person will be able to lift more than 1,000 kilograms with both hands. This is a new era. Grandpa Xu sighed. When I was young, my family used computers. My father and his peers played computer games. When I was young, we entered the age of cell phones. When I was middle-aged and later in my older years, we ushered in the age of virtual glasses. Now, human lifespans can be doubled. I'm living in a good era. Yeah, we're living in a good era. Li Chanan and his wife looked at each other. Dad, Mom, we can be together and live to the age of 160. Li Miao Miao also hugged her parents happily. Our family will be together. Li Chanan and his wife smiled with tears in their eyes. Don't forget to subscribe to Moon Policy. Guy's smiling face. Thanks for listening.